Well, let's be very clear. I don't think it's ever very good for Australia and Australians when the country is wall to wall of one flavour of politics like it is right now. Every mainland state, as we know, and territory government on the mainland, plus the federal government, is Labor, ranging from the hard left ACT administration to the dysfunctional outfit running the Northern Territory to the despised premiers of Queensland and Victoria. The only remaining Liberal is Jeremy Rockliff in Tasmania, hardly a household name, and I have to admit I had to look it up to make sure that was his name. What it means is that the federal government can make monumental errors of judgement, just think climate policy, hatred of fossil fuels, impractical climate ambitions that push up the cost of energy for every household and business in the nation. With their state-based mates running the rest of the show, well, there's no real debate, is there, or protest, or refusal to play along because they're all singing from the same hymn book. Now, this week has been a classic example. As State Premier Dan Andrews embarrasses the nation globally by tearing up a signed contract to run a sporting event, invents reasons why, and by any measure is loose with his numbers, what do we hear out of Canberra from the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese? Well, crickets. He said, well, you know, it's a matter for Victoria. That was it. That was his only comment. Well, what about the Federal Sports Minister? You may never have heard of her either. Her name's Annika Wells. Now, you would think she would have major disappointment, very sad for our athletes, problem for the game's future, hope another state might take it up. No. Again, as far as I can work out, and I'm happy to be corrected, crickets from her as well. Now, as I said, I'm happy to be corrected, but the last quote I can find of Annika Wells referring to the Commonwealth Games is from August last year, when she congratulated the Australian team for what they did in Birmingham, topping the medal table with 178 medals, including a staggering 67 gold medals. And what did the Minister Wells, the sports minister, say back then? Well, you'll love this. She said, quote, "Our team has done us proud. I want to congratulate all of our athletes, and this is the kicker. Look forward to welcoming them in Geelong in 2026. Wow. The Federal Sports Minister, Annika Wells, doesn't even seem to know that the opening ceremony for those games that are now being cancelled was going to be held in Melbourne at the MCG, and the sports played in 5 regional centres, not just in Geelong. Now, you get my point here. Can you imagine what Canberra would be saying if Victoria was run by a Liberal National Party state government and bungled the handling of this event so badly that Victorians were paying nearly $2 billion to not have it on? The Prime Minister and his Treasurer and the not-so-well-informed Sports Minister would be apoplectic. They'd be screaming incompetence, Australia's reputation's being trashed. But no, because it's Dan, there is either silence or a shrug of the shoulders. It's not healthy, this one-party nation. Just take the voice and start watching as the states fire up and try and save Albo's skin. The Libs only have themselves, though, to blame. But it's us ordinary Australians who end up being the victims.